All right, just for those of you guys. Now look, some of you guys, if you are behind, all right, you're compounding your problem. All right, and there's just no way around it. All right. Now, the reason why they're 83 is because I want you to be good at it. All right. And if you do all 83, then you will be great at it. All right. I think we're going to have today and tomorrow. We're going to finish this up. I think we're going to have a little review on Wednesday and then a test on Thursday over just the factoring. All right. So with that being said, the first thing is we're going to go down the page. Does everybody agree there is a common 3x? And if you don't know there's a common 3x, now's the time to speak up. Bless you. And when you pull a 3x, remember, divide numbers, subtract exponents. Divide numbers, subtract exponents. Divide numbers, subtract exponents. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. And when I subtract, I end up with x squared. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So we have x squared minus 4. Now, the x squared minus 4 is called the difference of squares. It's called difference because there's subtraction, and both of those are called perfect squares. So everybody should be able to look at that and say 3x parentheses x plus 2 and x minus 2. Simple as that. Anybody have any issues? All right, so now those of you guys who know on number 3, what's the GCF on number 3?
3.
Yes, it is a common 3, just a 3. So I want everybody to put down 3, and then I want you to divide the numbers. Come on, don't wait for me. All right, you write down what you think. Anybody have any problem with that? Anybody? All right, now we got to factor again. How do I make x squared? How do I make y squared?
1.
Yes. And now the only way I can make 2 is if I put a positive in both cases. All right. Sorry. Yeah, that's an x. All right. Now I also want everybody to put to the side here 3 parentheses x plus y squared. It's not wrong if you don't do that, but that's the way it would be on a standardized test. All right, keep it going. Number 5, GCF is what? 2x. And I'm left with x squared minus 5x. You guys are awesome. Minus 36. Now, this one should be kind of easy because the leading coefficient is a 1. So you're just simply asking yourself, what are the factors of 36 that make 5? 9 and 4. Thank you very much. So, Mikey, fill me in. You are amazing. There you have it. Now, at any moment in time, you're supposed to say, man, I don't see that one. All right. Because what you're acknowledging right now is you know how to do 1, 3, and 5. All right. Now, you can't say I know how to do it if all you did is write the answers down. All right. Because like I said, you're going to take the test. You're either know how to do them all or probably none. All right. So learn it now. Smiley faces. Don't forget. No, I think this was my typo that I'd read. I think I fixed. All right. Yeah, I think I fixed it this time. All right. So now, how many terms are there? 4. So it's the clue to do factor by what? Grouping. Here we go. Factoring by grouping. What's common? A. What's left behind? 2 plus B. What's common? Positive C. Thank you. What's left behind? 2 plus B. Thank you. And so now what's common again? The 2 plus b is common, and you're left with a plus c. Very good. Very good. Anybody? Factoring by grouping. There's 4 terms, so you separate them 2 and 2. What's common in the highlighted green? A. So I pulled out an A. Then 2 plus b was left behind. Do you agree? Then I'm looking at what's common.
C, and you, okay.
Right. And then once again, the 2 plus b is common. Right? So the 2 plus b is pulled out, and the b and the c is left, or I'm sorry, the a and the c are left right there. Better? All right, we got lots of practice. Lots of practice. All right, now for number 9, I told you the leading coefficient is negative. You want to factor out a negative. So what is common with negative 12, 30, and 18?
3.
Bigger.
-6.
A negative 6. Then you go to your variables. What's the largest variable I can take out? X. Thank you very much. Divide numbers, subtract exponents. Divide numbers, subtract exponents. So negative 12 divided by negative 6.
2x squared.
2x squared. Thank you. Dividing 30 by negative 6.
Negative 5x.
Negative 5x. 18 divided by negative 6.
3.
There you have it. There you have it. All right, now this one's a little bit harder to factor. All right, so here we go. Negative 6x, parentheses, parentheses, parentheses. The only way to make 2x squared is 2x and x. Now I'm going to do it wrong just to show you something. 3 and 1. This is considered a harder problem because that's 3x and 2x. I can make negative 5 if they're both negative. However, negative 3 times negative 1 would make this a positive 3. Does everybody agree? So that can't be. So now I need to do positive 1 right here and negative 3 over here. Now do you see? It's still what? Negative 6, positive 1 makes the negative 5. All right. And now the positive 1 times negative 3 makes the negative 3. That's considered hard. GCF for number 11. What is it? 3. What's left?
2x squared
2x squared
plus 5x
plus 5x plus 2. Beautiful.
Which if it has an even number of terms, then you always do the
Yes, factoring by grouping if there's 4 terms.
what if there's 2?
Difference of squares.
What is that? This is where you add and then the other one's subtracting.
Thank you. That's exactly correct. If it's like x squared minus 4, it's x plus 2, x minus 2. We'll talk more about it.
Okay.
We'll talk more about it. All right, so what's the only way to make 2x squared? 2 and x. Now, the only factors of 2 are 2 and 1. Where does 2 have to go? On the right. 1 goes on the left. And they're both now what? 1 and 4 makes 5. There you have it. Come on, 13. We're doing good. 4x. Beautiful. What's left?
5x squared
5x squared.
12x
9x. And then what?
minus 2x.
Minus 2, right? Because the x was pulled out. All right, let's go, everybody. Factor. How do I make 5x squared? 5x and x. Where's the 2 going to go? On the right or the left? On the right side, because I want that to be 10. And I want the 10 to be positive or negative.
Negative.
Negative. The 1 is,
Positive.
come on, we're getting better. All right, hopefully you feel like you're getting better. Now, here's what I'm talking about on 15. Is there a GCF on 15?
No.
No. What's the middle term? 5, right? Now, do I want to break 4 down to 2 and 2, or do I just want to make it 4 and 1? 4 and 1, because that'll help you get to the what? Yeah, that'll help you get to the middle term. Exactly. All right. So there is no GCF. If you want to make yourself a note, no GCF, but we still looked. We still looked. All right. So now we just do 2 sets of parentheses. How do we want to break 4x squared down? Did we say 4x and x? Thank you for listening. And then the factors of 1. 1 and 1. Now we do our smiley face. 4 and 1 makes -5 if they're both negative. If they're both negative. Now, number 17, 4 terms. So I'm going to do what? Factor by grouping. What's common? X. What do I get? What's common? -3. Change the signs when you factor a negative. Or you can just look right over here and see the answer would be what? Y minus Z. Those two things have to be the same. So now what?
X minus, or Y minus Z and X minus 3.
Yes, Y minus Z and X minus 3. All right. Is there a GCF on number 19?
No. Yes. X.
Yes. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on pause for 5 minutes. Zoom. All right. And you can just watch. All right. GCF X parentheses 2x squared minus 5x minus 1. Now we come to a problem. Does that factor anymore?
No.
Good job if you knew that. Right? That's the answer. That's the answer. Because no matter how hard you try, there's no way to make what? There's no way to make 5 with 2 and 1. There's just not. Right? So did that factor? And the answer is yes, the GCF was factored. All right. That is a good answer right there. It's not always going to factor out. All right. So be careful with that. All right. Next, 21. There was a common x squared. So we pulled out the x squared. 4x squared plus 17x minus 15. X squared, 2 sets of parentheses. And I want
I put 4 and X.
yes, it is 4x and x. That's right. 4x and x, 3 over here, 5 over here. Because that makes how many now? 12, and that makes 5. That looks like the right answer. But it's not, because they would both have to be what? Positive. But then that would make a what? Positive 15. So now let's move it over here. That's why this one's considered especially hard. Please look at this one. 5 here and 3 here. Now I have 20 and 3. Makes 17 if this is plus and this is minus. That was a hard one. Put a star by that one. All right, I understand that. That was a hard one. You had to try 2x and 2x, and that didn't work. All right. Then you try 4x and x. That's why it's annoying.
What problem should we have gotten then?
No, it doesn't. It's just practice. Right. Yeah, I would say 5 or 6. You should be able to do 1 a minute. All right. What's common here, guys? -2 parentheses 8x squared plus 6x minus 9. Does everybody agree with that? Okay, here we go. -2. Let's try to factor this. 4x, 2x Let's try 3 and 3. 12 and 6 can make 6 if the 12 is positive and the 3 is negative. Again, is everybody seeing me right here? Notice I do my smiley faces every time I connect them so I can figure out what the number is.
Yeah, and for the factoring by grouping, if there's nothing after you do like on 25.
It's a 1.
Yeah, that's.
All right. So here we go. Let's take a look at number 25. There's 4 terms. So we have group. Here we go. What's common? X squared. You're left with 2x minus 1. Remember, when this is negative, you factor out a -2. Bless you. And this becomes 2x minus 1. Now, what else is common here? Pull out the 2x minus 1. And you're left with x squared minus 2.
The other one's like basically the same.
Yeah. You should be getting better at it. All right. So let's knock out 27 together. All right. Let's go.
Y,
Thank you.
and then it comes back out to 2x minus 1,
Good.
and then -2,
And then
2x minus 1. And it's 2x minus 1 in parentheses, and then y minus 2.
very nice. Yeah, that's practically the same problem. Okay, now everybody needs to put a star by number 29. It's kind of a new type of problem. Please look at 29. Please look at 29.
Oh yeah, that's why I stopped studying.
That's all right. You should be able to look at it and say, obviously,
X squared. It's x squared, x squared.
x squared, x squared.
Different.
Difference of squares. Thank you. That is correct. Called the difference of squares. Everybody's looking up at that.
Okay.
Does x squared minus 9 factor? No, because it's a plus. Does x squared minus 9 factor though?
Yeah.
Yes, this is the one that can refactor. Parentheses. X plus 3, x minus 3, x squared plus 9 does not factor. X squared plus 9 does not factor. All right, so please, everybody take a look at number 29. That's on the test. All right. Factor the difference of squares once, and you factor difference of squares twice. You cannot factor x squared plus 9 because it does not have a what? Subtraction sign there. All right. In order to factor 2 terms, one's positive, one's negative. All right. Until you get to algebra 2 and they teach you about imaginaries. All right. Here we go. 31. What's common? 2. What's left behind?
3x squared
Thank you.
plus 11xy
Thank you.
minus 4y squared.
Good job, buddy.
Good job, bud.
Now, does everybody see how I'm looking at 3 and 4 and making 12? Come on.
I got
So
3x.
how do I make 3x squared?
Put 3x in
3x and x.
it. And then.
Now, if I do 2y and 2y, is that going to get up to
Oh, no,
11?
It's positive.
Hold on. Just tell me it's 4y and y.
4 minus 1.
All right. It's going to be a 4y here and a 1y here.
Yeah, that's what.
And I want the 4y to be positive
Mhm.
and the 1 to be negative. All right. I want everybody to put a star up by number 33. All right. This is a common question on the SATs. All right. So I need to factor this.
No, it can't be.
What am I looking at? You're right.
Yeah.
X squared and x squared.
Mm.
Now the factors of 9 that are going to make 10. What are they? 1 and 9. I like that. 1 and 9. 1x squared, 9x squared makes negative 10x squared if they're both what? If they are both negative. Okay,
You can
now the problem here is what can I do to x squared minus 1? To what?
X minus 1,
And
x plus 1.
beautiful. Now what do I do with x squared minus 9?
You can do x minus 3,
And
x plus 2.
you are amazing. That is correct. All right, that is correct. All right, here we go. Take a look at 35. What's common?
Actually, no, it's not.
Thank you for looking carefully. There's a common x. 5a squared plus 2ab minus 7b squared. Bless you, bless you, bless you. All right, how do I make 5a squared? 5a and a. What about 7b squared? 7b and b. Where's 7 gonna go? Right. And I want it to be positive 2, so the 7 is going to be
No, positive.
positive because I want it to be positive.
And then the
Right, because that's going to give me 7 minus 5, which gives me that 2. Okay, everybody needs to look at 37. Major problems here on 37. All right, everybody take a look at 37. Now, please listen. All right, this is a common problem also. This is right now what? What's the first one?
It's x minus y. And
That is correct. However, the second one is what?
different.
Y minus x. So at the top, you are going to factor out a -1. You're going to factor out a -1 from here. Whenever they're different, all you do is you pull out a -1. And when you pull out a negative, what happens to the signs? They change. So I'm going to change this positive t to a negative t. And then the positive y becomes a negative y. And then the negative x becomes a positive x. Now, is that the same as now x minus y?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is the same. But we don't write it as negative y plus x. We just go ahead and rewrite it as what?
X minus y.
We just go ahead and write it as x minus y. And there's a negative t, and there's an x minus y, and a 3. So whenever the numbers or the factors are off by a negative, you just pull out a negative and switch it. All right, and so your final answer here now is x minus y, and then 3 minus t.
Okay.
Is everybody good with that? Anybody have any questions? All right, again, it was off max by a negative. Since you stepped out of the room, you didn't see it. This is y minus x and one's x minus y. So I factored out a -1 from here. This positive became a negative, and then the signs changed. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 39. Come on, what's common? 4x. What am I left with? 5x squared
minus 7
minus 7x
plus 2.
plus
2.
2. All right. Now let's go ahead and factor 4x. How do I make 5x squared? 5x and x. Now, where's the 2 going to go? 2 is going to need to go on the left. 1 on the right. 5x and 2x makes -7 if they're both negative. Now, everybody's looking at 41. Is there a GCF?
No.
No GCF. There's no GCF, so now we just get to work regular factoring. How do I make 2x squared? 2x and x. Where's the 5 going to go? On the right or the left?
Left.
The reason why we know what's going on the left is because that'll help you make 5x
And one.
and I want it to be 7x, so it's going to be both positive. 5 and 2 makes 7 if you add them. What about number 43? Is there, come on. All right, is there a GCF on 43? No. Is there a GCF on 45?
Why is there all of them no GCF?
Is there a GCF on the next one? No. Is there a GCF on the next one?
No.
No, there is not.
No, I think it's stop at one that's and you have to change them all. And the whole thing is it.
Shh, 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 shh. Okay, so again, I'm just trying to show you, all right, when you're doing these, all right. Okay, let's look at 53 for a quick moment. Everybody's on 53. The b minus a is not the same as a minus b. So I want to rewrite it as x squared, a minus b, and then I'm factoring out a what? Negative, in this case, a -1. And then this becomes a minus b. All right, come on, look at 53. Now you can pull out a what? A minus b, and what am I left with?
X squared minus.
That is correct. A minus b. Now x squared minus 1. But those of you guys who've been paying attention, we know what's true about x squared minus 1. Yeah, you can factor that. You always have to look. A minus b, and that factors to what? X plus 1 and x minus 1. All right, let's just knock out 50. That's correct. This must be factored completely. All right, let's look at 55. 55 is an easy one. Right? This is the old one. What am I doing? What am I factoring out? What? What am I factoring out? X minus 3. What's left behind? A plus C. All right, here we go on 57. How did I get what? Look right here, buddy. There's an X minus 3 and an X minus 3.
Oh, yeah.
You see? Hey, listen, Wilson, you're starting to bother me now. All right, I mean it. I'm about to go crazy. All right? Because you keep interrupting. Now on 57, let's go. What's common? X. What's left behind? X squared.
2x minus 4.
Yes. Okay, here we go. What makes x squared?
X and x.
X and x. Factors of 24. That make, yeah. 6 and 4. I want it to be a
-6 and +4.
-6 and +4. Okay, helping you out with 66. Jump down to 66. Here we go. How do I make x to the 4th?
X squared, x squared.
X squared, x squared. How do I make 26 from 25? 25 and 1. And I want it to be -26. So they're both what? They're both negative. Come on. Now you're supposed to recognize, well, x squared minus 25 can be factored to what?
Both of them.
X plus 5 and X plus.
X plus 5, x minus 5. What about x squared minus 1?
X plus one, X.
X plus 1, x minus 1. All right, 66 is a really tricky one. Yes, sir.
You do the X with 5 and X minus 5. Like, I don't understand why you have that.
Well, because x squared minus 25
Oh, yeah.
can be factored. X squared minus 1 is a result of that. And then we say this guy right here is this factored, okay?
Oh.
All right, let me see if there's something else. Okay, let me help you with number 75. All right, someone tell me what's common with 75. So let's look at 50, 20, and 30. What's common?
10X plus.
10 so far.
10Y.
And then 10y, no x.
5X.
So then I have 5x squared.
Plus 2X. Minus 3.
Yes, there you have it. Come on, come on. Just, you got to stop. All right, I know. He's making a fool of himself today. Shh, you don't have to contribute. Now, how do I get 5x squared?
5X and X.
5x and x. The only factors of 3.
On the left.
3 has to go on the left. 1 has to go on the right. I'm looking 3 and 5.
-1 plus 3.
If it's -1, should be +1 and -3, right? That one's hard to see because this over here is the 5. All right. Now I need everybody to finish the left side,
Walleye, Mr. Shaw.
walleye.